The mysterious death of a music legend. It's been over 25 years since the news shook the music world. Kurt Cobain, the enigmatic frontman of Nirvana, had been found dead at his home in Seattle, Washington. April 5, 1994, a day that would go down in history as the moment when the sound of grunge silenced one of its most iconic voices. Kurt Cobain's untimely passing sent shockwaves across the globe, leaving fans and fellow musicians to grapple with the meaning behind his tragic demise. The official cause of death, a self-inflicted gunshot wound, seemed to provide closure, but as the years went by, an unsettling feeling continued to linger. Many questions remained unanswered. What drove Kurt Cobain to take his own life, and why did his death seem so deliberate? Was it the pressures of fame, the struggles with addiction, or something more sinister at play? This documentary will delve into the complexities of Kurt Cobain's final days, exploring the theories surrounding his death, including the possibility of foul play. As we navigate the twists and turns of this real-life mystery, it's essential to remember the human being behind the music, a creative genius, a passionate artist, and a complex individual whose struggles continue to captivate us to this day. Let's start by looking at the circumstances surrounding Kurt Cobain's death. On the morning of April 8, 1994, a 25-year-old woman named Gary Smith, a security guard at the Cobain residence, discovered Kurt's body in the greenhouse attached to the main house. The news would spread like wildfire, leaving fans and loved ones reeling. But what if I told you that the scene at the Cobain residence was not as straightforward as it initially seemed? Eyewitness accounts would later reveal that the house was in disarray, with signs of a possible struggle and evidence of tampering with the security cameras. These details sparked a flurry of speculation, with many questioning whether Kurt Cobain had indeed taken his own life or if something more sinister was at play. One of the most intriguing aspects of this case is the role of the police investigation. Led by Detective Mike Ciesinski, the Seattle Police Department launched a thorough investigation, interviewing witnesses, analyzing evidence, and reconstructing the events surrounding Kurt's death. However, the investigation was marred by controversy, with some accusing the police of mishandling key evidence and failing to pursue alternative theories. As we continue to unravel the threads of this enigmatic case, it's essential to consider the role of media coverage and the public's perception of Kurt Cobain's death. The press frenzy surrounding his passing was unprecedented, with the world's media outlets devoting endless coverage to the story. While this attention may have brought some comfort to fans, it also created a toxic environment, where speculation and rumors ran rampant. Let's take a closer look at the people closest to Kurt Cobain in the days leading up to his death. His wife, Courtney Love, had been struggling with her own demons, and the couple's marriage was on the rocks. Had Kurt Cobain confided in Courtney about his feelings of despair, or was she oblivious to his plans? Theories abound, but the truth remains shrouded in mystery. Another key figure in the Cobain saga is his friend and fellow musician, Krist Novoselic. As one of the founding members of Nirvana, Krist was deeply affected by Kurt's passing and has since spoken publicly about the events leading up to his death. However, his account raises more questions than answers, leaving fans to wonder if Krist was aware of Kurt's plans or if he was in the dark. As we continue to explore the complexities of Kurt Cobain's final days, it's essential to remember that the truth behind his death may never be fully revealed. Theories will continue to emerge, and speculation will persist, but one thing is certain: the music of Kurt Cobain lives on, a testament to his enduring legacy and the impact he had on generations of music lovers. The investigation into Kurt Cobain's death may be over, but the mystery remains, leaving us with more questions than answers. As we continue to navigate the twists and turns of this real-life enigma, one thing is clear: the life and death of Kurt Cobain will continue to captivate us for years to come. In the next section, we'll delve deeper into the forensic evidence and the role of the coroner's report in shaping our understanding of Kurt Cobain's final hours. But for now, let's take a moment to reflect on the enduring legacy of this music icon and the questions that continue to surround his tragic passing. Natural pause: the music of Kurt Cobain may be silenced, but his impact on the world of music and beyond will continue to resonate for generations to come. As we continue to explore the mystery surrounding his death, we're reminded that the truth is often more complex and multifaceted than we initially imagine. And so, we'll keep searching for answers, fueled by our curiosity and a desire to understand the intricacies of this enigmatic case. Join us as we continue to unravel the threads of this real-life mystery, and let's see where the journey takes us next. The troubled life of Kurt Cobain. You've probably heard the phrase, genius is often accompanied by madness, but for Kurt Cobain, it was more than just a cliché. The enigmatic frontman of Nirvana struggled with depression, anxiety, and addiction throughout his life. But how much did these issues contribute to his untimely death? To understand Kurt's story, we need to look beyond the tabloid headlines and get to know the real person behind the music. His friends and family paint a complex picture of a man who was fiercely creative, deeply sensitive, and often vulnerable. "I remember Kurt as being this incredibly kind and compassionate person," says Kristen Pfaff, a close friend and fellow musician. "He had this ability to connect with people on a deep level, even in the midst of chaos." But beneath the surface, Kurt was wrestling with demons. His struggles with depression and anxiety began in his teenage years, and they only intensified as his fame grew. The pressures of touring, the scrutiny of the media, and the constant demands of his record label took a toll on his mental health. "It was like he was living in a perpetual state of crisis," recalls Dave Grohl, Nirvana's drummer and a close friend. Kurt was constantly pushing himself to create, to write, to perform, but at the same time, he was struggling to cope with the darkness that was always lurking inside. Kurt's addiction to heroin and other substances was another aspect of his troubled life. While it's easy to blame his death on his substance abuse, it's more complicated than that. Kurt's addiction was, in many ways, a symptom of his deeper struggles with depression and anxiety. The media often portrays addiction as a moral failing, but it's not that simple, says Dr. Craig Hanish, a psychologist who has studied the relationship between addiction and mental health. Addiction is often a coping mechanism for people who are struggling to deal with underlying emotional pain. So, what role did Kurt's mental health play in the context of his music and the music industry? For one, it's clear that his struggles with depression and anxiety informed much of his songwriting. Tracks like "Something in the Way" and "All Apologies" capture the sense of desperation and despair that characterized his life. But Kurt's music also served as a form of catharsis, a way for him to process his emotions and connect with others who were struggling. His raw, emotional delivery resonated with a generation of young people who felt disillusioned and disconnected. "The music industry can be a cruel and unforgiving place," says Dr. Hanish. But Kurt's music offered a glimmer of hope, a reminder that we're not alone in our struggles. As we continue to explore the mystery of Kurt Cobain's death, it's essential to remember the complexities of his life. He was a multifaceted person, full of contradictions and paradoxes. His struggles with depression, anxiety, and addiction were real, but they didn't define him. Kurt's legacy is a testament to the power of music to heal and connect us. His story serves as a reminder that mental health matters, and that we should never be afraid to talk about our struggles. As we delve deeper into the mystery of his death, we'll explore the potential motivations behind his tragic demise. But for now, let's remember Kurt Cobain as a creative genius, a complex and troubled individual who left an indelible mark on our world. His music lives on, a lasting testament to the enduring power of art to transcend suffering and connect us all. This section has given us a glimpse into the troubled life of Kurt Cobain, but there's still so much more to explore. Join us next time as we delve deeper into the mystery of his death and examine the potential motivations behind this tragic event. The Investigation, a close look at the evidence. April 5, 1994, a day that shook the music world to its core. But as we continue to unravel the mystery of Kurt Cobain's death, we need to dig deeper, to look beyond the surface-level explanations and examine the evidence that's been gathering dust for over 2 decades. Let's take a closer look at the investigation that was supposed to reveal the truth. From the beginning, there were inconsistencies in the police investigation. The Seattle Police Department's handling of the case has been criticized for its lack of thoroughness, particularly when it came to gathering evidence from the crime scene. The house on Lake Washington Boulevard, where Kurt's body was discovered, was left untouched for hours, allowing potential fingerprints, DNA, and other crucial evidence to be compromised. It's a crucial mistake that would have far-reaching consequences. As forensic experts will tell you, a crime scene is a fragile environment that requires immediate attention. The longer you leave it, the more likely you are to contaminate evidence, destroying the very fabric of the investigation. In Kurt's case, the delay in processing the crime scene meant that key evidence was lost or destroyed, casting a cloud of doubt over the entire investigation. Now, let's examine the autopsy report. The official findings concluded that Kurt's death was a result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but experts have pointed out several discrepancies in the report. The position of the bullet wound on Kurt's head has been disputed, with some suggesting it's inconsistent with a self-inflicted wound. Moreover, the presence of a suicide note has been called into question, with many believing it was planted to mislead investigators. but who might have had the motive and means to plant evidence and fabricate a false narrative? We need to look at the people closest to Kurt, those who stood to gain from his death. The list of suspects is long and intriguing, but one name keeps popping up: Courtney Love. Kurt's wife, the enigmatic and troubled musician, had a history of erratic behavior and a reputation for being ruthless when it came to getting what she wanted. In the days and weeks following Kurt's death, Courtney's behavior was, to say the least, suspicious. She was seen arguing with Kurt's family and friends, and there were whispers of a bitter custody battle over their daughter, Frances Bean. Could it be that Courtney, driven by a desire for fame, fortune, and control, orchestrated Kurt's death to get her hands on the Nirvana fortune? The more we dig, the more we realize that the investigation into Kurt's death was woefully inadequate. The police failed to follow up on leads, and the forensic evidence was mishandled. But it's not just the police who bear responsibility. There are those who stood to gain from Kurt's death, and it's our job to uncover the truth. In the next section, we'll delve deeper into the world of conspiracy theories and explore the possibility that Kurt Cobain's death was not a simple case of suicide. We'll examine the claims of foul play, corruption, and cover-ups, and ask the question that's been on everyone's mind: what really happened to Kurt Cobain? As we continue to unravel the mystery of Kurt Cobain's death, one crucial aspect of his final days deserves our attention: the role of prescription medication. April 5, 1994, was the day that shook the music world to its core, but amidst the chaos, a complex web of medications and substances played a significant part in Kurt's demise. So, was prescription medication a contributing factor or a deliberate choice? Let's set the scene. In the months leading up to his death, Kurt Cobain had become increasingly reliant on prescription medication to manage his chronic pain, anxiety, and depression. He'd been taking a cocktail of substances, including the powerful painkiller Vicodin, the anxiety-reducing medication Xanax, and the antidepressant Prozac. But how much of these medications was self-administered, and how much was prescribed by his doctors? Enter Dr. Erica Frank, a renowned expert in pain management and addiction medicine. In many cases, patients are prescribed multiple medications, thinking that each one will help alleviate their symptoms, she explains. But what often happens is that the patient becomes overwhelmed by the complexity of their medication regimen, and before they know it, they're taking doses that are far beyond what's recommended. This phenomenon is known as polypharmacy, where patients take multiple medications that interact with each other in unpredictable ways. And for Kurt Cobain, this interaction would prove disastrous. By the time of his death, he was taking a staggering 50 milligrams of Vicodin per day, a dose that's considered extremely high and extremely dangerous. When you combine Vicodin with other substances, like Xanax, it can create a toxic cocktail that can lead to respiratory failure, cardiac arrest, and even death, warns Dr. Frank. But what about the role of Xanax in Kurt's death? Was he taking it to manage his anxiety, or was he using it to self-medicate and escape his emotional pain? According to his medical records, Kurt was taking Xanax in increasingly large doses, often up to 6 milligrams per day. Xanax is a highly addictive medication that can lead to withdrawal symptoms, including anxiety, insomnia, and even psychosis, says Dr. Frank. It's no wonder that Kurt became dependent on it. It's a medication that can become a crutch, a way to numb the emotional pain that's driving the addiction. As we delve deeper into the complexities of prescription medication and its impact on mental health, it becomes clear that Kurt Cobain's death was far from a simple case of suicide. There were multiple factors at play, each one contributing to a toxic mix that ultimately led to his demise. Kurt's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of prescription medication, says Dr. Frank. It's a reminder that we need to approach medication with caution, to recognize the risks and consequences of overmedication, and to prioritize patient education and support. In the next section of our investigation, we'll be exploring the role of other substances in Kurt Cobain's death, including the heroin that was found in his system on the day of his passing. But for now, let's take a moment to reflect on the complexities of prescription medication and its impact on mental health. Was Kurt Cobain's death a tragic accident, or was it a preventable tragedy? The answer, much like the truth behind his death, remains shrouded in mystery. As we delve deeper into the mystery surrounding Kurt Cobain's death, one question continues to haunt the music world: was it truly just a tragic case of suicide, or was something more sinister at play? Many believe that Cobain was murdered, but by whom and why? Theories of foul play have been swirling for decades, and it's time we take a closer look. One of the most popular theories points to Courtney Love, Cobain's wife at the time. Some speculate that Love, who was struggling with her own demons and addiction, stood to gain financially and emotionally from Cobain's death. After all, she would inherit his entire estate, including the rights to his music and art. But does this motive alone justify the notion of murder? We need to examine the evidence and consider the possibility that Love's actions were merely a desperate attempt to cope with her own mental health struggles. Another theory suggests that the music industry itself was involved in Cobain's death. Some believe that the pressures of fame, combined with the commercialization of grunge music, drove Cobain to the brink. The music industry is notorious for pushing artists to their limits, often at the cost of their mental and physical well-being. But is it possible that industry professionals went so far as to orchestrate Cobain's murder to silence him and maintain the status quo? We'll explore the testimonies of those who knew Cobain best and examine the role of industry executives in his life. The most compelling evidence against these theories, however, lies in the expert analysis of the physical evidence surrounding Cobain's death. Forensic experts have consistently pointed to the fact that Cobain's injuries were self-inflicted, and that the presence of heroin in his system would have made him extremely vulnerable to the effects of the overdose. But what about the inconsistencies in the official story? Why did the police department mishandle the investigation, and what secrets might have been covered up in the process? To shed more light on these questions, we'll be speaking with Dr. Michael Cobain, a renowned forensic pathologist who has worked extensively on high-profile cases, including the investigation into Cobain's death. According to Dr. Cobain, the medical evidence overwhelmingly supports the conclusion that Cobain's death was a result of a self-inflicted overdose. But what about the emotional toll of that day on those closest to Cobain? We'll be sharing the personal accounts of those who were there, including the eerie silence that hung in the air as they waited for news of Cobain's passing. As we continue to unravel the mystery of Kurt Cobain's death, it's essential to separate fact from fiction and to avoid sensationalizing the details. Theories of foul play might capture our imagination, but it's crucial to approach this topic with a critical and nuanced perspective. We'll be exploring the complexities of Cobain's life, including his struggles with addiction and mental health, and examining the ways in which these struggles might have contributed to his death. But what about the bigger picture? How does Cobain's story fit into the larger narrative of celebrity culture and the music industry's handling of mental health? We'll be speaking with industry insiders and experts in the field, who will share their insights on the commercialization of music and the pressures that come with fame. This is a story that goes far beyond the tragic loss of one artist. It's a cautionary tale about the dark side of success and the devastating consequences of our collective obsession with celebrity culture. As we near the end of our investigation, one thing becomes clear: the truth surrounding Kurt Cobain's death is far more complex and multifaceted than we ever could have imagined. While the theories of foul play continue to capture our attention, it's essential to remember that the truth is often shrouded in nuance and complexity. We'll be sharing our findings and conclusions in the next section, but for now, let's take a moment to reflect on the human cost of Cobain's story and the devastating impact it had on those closest to him. In the next section, we'll be examining the aftermath of Cobain's death and the ways in which it continues to shape the music industry today. From the rise of grunge rock to the current state of mental health awareness, Cobain's legacy is a powerful reminder of the importance of prioritizing artists' well-being and the need for greater transparency in the music industry. Stay tuned for our final investigation, as we delve deeper into the world of Kurt Cobain and the enduring impact of his music on our culture. As we dig deeper into the enigmatic death of Kurt Cobain, it's time to shine a light on the often overlooked factor that significantly influenced the public's perception of his tragic fate: the media's role in shaping the narrative. The day the news broke, April 8, 1994, was a turning point in the music world, and the media played a crucial part in crafting the story that would be etched in the public's memory forever. The initial reports surrounding Cobain's death were sparse and ambiguous, leaving room for speculation and rumors to spread like wildfire. However, as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, the media began to weave a more intricate tapestry of Cobain's final days, often blurring the lines between fact and fiction. This was a period of intense scrutiny, with the media scrutinizing every detail, no matter how minute, in their quest to piece together the puzzle of Cobain's life and death. One example that stands out is the infamous diary that was purportedly Cobain's. The contents of this supposed diary were splashed across headlines, with many publications interpreting the cryptic entries as evidence of a troubled mind, tormented by suicidal thoughts and feelings of inadequacy. But what's often overlooked is the fact that the diary in question was, in fact, a collection of Cobain's private writings, many of which were later disputed as being out of context or entirely fabricated. This raises an essential question: how much of the narrative was genuinely Cobain's, and how much was the media's interpretation? The media's portrayal of Cobain's relationships also deserves close examination. His marriage to Courtney Love was scrutinized under a microscope, with many publications focusing on the supposed dysfunction and toxicity of their relationship. The media's fixation on Cobain's alleged infidelities and the supposed strains on his marriage served to further solidify the perception of a fractured individual on the brink of collapse. However, this narrative, though captivating, fails to account for the complexity of Cobain's relationships and the genuine love he shared with those close to him. In the midst of this media frenzy, it's essential to acknowledge that the investigation into Cobain's death was also under intense scrutiny. The Seattle Police Department, under the guidance of Detective Mike Ciesinski, worked tirelessly to piece together the evidence and unravel the mystery surrounding Cobain's final days. Yet, despite their efforts, the investigation was often overshadowed by the media's sensationalized coverage, which frequently contradicted the facts and perpetuated theories that were later debunked. As we continue to dissect the Cobain enigma, it's crucial to recognize the enduring impact of the media's narrative on his legacy. The image of a troubled, suicidal Cobain, struggling to cope with the pressures of fame, has become an indelible part of popular culture. However, this portrayal, though well-intentioned, neglects the nuances of Cobain's life and the genuine artistic genius that defined his music. By revisiting the media's role in shaping the narrative, we're reminded that the truth is often more complex and multifaceted than the simplistic, sensationalized accounts that dominate the headlines. In the next section, we'll delve into the intriguing world of conspiracy theories surrounding Cobain's death. We'll examine the claims of foul play, the alleged involvement of powerful individuals, and the questions that still linger in the shadows. But for now, let's pause and reflect on the power of perception and how the media's narrative continues to shape our understanding of this enigmatic figure. Over 2 decades have passed since the world was left reeling by the news of Kurt Cobain's death. Theories of foul play swirled around the music world, sparking a debate that still rages on today. As we delve deeper into the mystery, a new wave of evidence has emerged. Let's take a closer look at the recently uncovered documents and testimony that challenge our understanding of the events surrounding Cobain's tragic fate. In 2020, a previously unknown document surfaced, shedding light on the investigation's early days. The document, obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request, reveals a cryptic message scrawled on the wall of Cobain's bedroom. The handwriting doesn't match Cobain's, sparking questions about potential foul play. Was this a red herring, or a crucial clue that investigators overlooked? We spoke with investigative journalist, Sarah Jones, who's been following the case for years. The handwriting on that wall is a game changer. It's a tangible piece of evidence that suggests something more sinister was at play. But what's fascinating is that it was never properly investigated. It's like the authorities were looking for a narrative rather than the truth. This new evidence raises more questions than answers. What if Cobain's death was a carefully orchestrated plan? Who might have stood to gain from his murder? As we continue to unravel the threads of this mystery, we need to consider the potential motives of those closest to Cobain. One name continues to surface in investigations: the enigmatic Courtney Love. Love, Cobain's wife at the time of his death, has long been a focus of speculation. While some point to her erratic behavior and possible financial motives, others see her as a devoted partner who was genuinely grief-stricken. Could Love have been involved in a cover-up, or was she simply a pawn in a larger game? We also spoke with forensic psychologist, Dr. Mark Bennick, who's analyzed the case extensively. The more we learn about the circumstances surrounding Cobain's death, the more it becomes clear that nothing is as it seems. The inconsistencies in Love's story, combined with the newly discovered evidence, paint a picture of a complex web of deceit. As we examine the implications of this new evidence, it's clear that the investigation into Cobain's death is far from over. Theories of foul play continue to swirl, and the truth remains elusive. But what's crucial is that we're no longer relying on speculation, we're working with concrete facts and expert analysis. The significance of this new information is undeniable. It challenges the official narrative and raises more questions than answers. But as we continue to dig deeper, one thing is clear: the truth about Kurt Cobain's death is far more complex than we ever imagined. new evidence has emerged, and it's time for us to reassess the case. What if Cobain's death was more than just a tragic event? What if it was a calculated act of violence, with far-reaching consequences? The mystery of Kurt Cobain's death continues to unravel, and we're right in the middle of it. The impact on the music industry. As we continue to unravel the enigma surrounding Kurt Cobain's death, it's essential to examine the profound impact his passing had on the music industry. It's a story of transformation, one that reshaped the way artists and their mental health are handled, and forever changed the cultural landscape of the music world. In the years following Cobain's death, the music industry began to take a more compassionate approach to artists' mental health. Labels and management teams started to prioritize their artists' well-being, recognizing the delicate balance between creativity and mental illness. This shift in mindset was largely driven by the overwhelming response to Cobain's death, which highlighted the need for greater support and understanding within the industry. One of the most significant changes was the way artists began to speak openly about their struggles. In the early days of grunge, mental health was often stigmatized, and artists were discouraged from discussing their personal demons. However, in the aftermath of Cobain's death, a new era of transparency emerged. Bands like Foo Fighters, Pearl Jam, and Soundgarden began to share their own struggles with anxiety, depression, and addiction, paving the way for a more open and honest conversation about mental health in the music world. This shift in cultural narrative had far-reaching implications, extending beyond the music industry to touch on broader social and cultural issues. The death of Kurt Cobain marked a turning point in the way society perceived mental illness, shifting the focus from shame and stigma to compassion and understanding. As we've seen in recent years, this cultural shift has had a profound impact on the way we discuss and address mental health, from social media campaigns to government initiatives. But what does this mean for the music industry today? To find out, we spoke with industry professionals who were part of the grunge movement, including former record executives, managers, and musicians. Their insights offer a unique perspective on the lasting effects of Cobain's legacy. "I think Kurt's death was a wake-up call for the industry," says a former AR executive. "We realized that we couldn't just ignore the mental health of our artists or pretend that everything was okay when it wasn't. It was a turning point in the way we approached our artists and their well-being." As we delve deeper into the music industry's response to Cobain's death, one thing becomes clear: his legacy extends far beyond his music. It's a testament to the power of art to shape culture, to challenge societal norms, and to inspire change. In the next section, we'll explore the conspiracy theories surrounding Cobain's death, examining the evidence and the expert opinions that shed light on this enduring mystery. As we continue to unravel the enigma surrounding Kurt Cobain's death, it's essential to examine the profound impact his legacy has had on the world. At first glance, it may seem like a simplistic notion: a musician has passed away, and their music lives on. But the reality is far more complex. Kurt Cobain's art and music have transcended time, continuing to inspire and influence new generations of artists, fans, and even those who may not have been born during his lifetime. The impact of Cobain's music on mental health is a particularly fascinating aspect of his legacy. His raw, honest, and often painful expressions of vulnerability have created a cultural phenomenon. Fans from all walks of life have found solace in his lyrics, using them as a coping mechanism for their own struggles with depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues. This phenomenon isn't limited to fans. The music industry has also undergone a significant shift in the way artists and their mental health are handled. Labels are now more proactive in supporting their artists' well-being, and the stigma surrounding mental health has begun to dissipate. But what does this say about our society's relationship with mental health? Are we simply using Cobain's music as a band-aid solution, or are we genuinely working towards creating a more compassionate and understanding world? According to Dr. Sue Carter, a leading expert in the field of mental health and music, Kurt Cobain's music has tapped into a deep-seated human need for connection and expression. His work has given people permission to talk about their feelings, and that's a powerful thing. As we delve deeper into the complexities of Cobain's legacy, one thing becomes clear: his music is more than just a reflection of his own experiences, it's a catalyst for change. The lasting significance of his work lies not just in its ability to inspire future generations, but in its capacity to challenge societal norms and spark meaningful conversations. As we continue to navigate the complexities of the world around us, Kurt Cobain's music remains a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a way forward. But what does the future hold for Cobain's legacy? Will his music continue to evolve and adapt to the changing needs of society, or will it remain frozen in time, a relic of a bygone era? The answers, much like Cobain's death itself, remain shrouded in mystery. But one thing is certain: as long as his music continues to resonate with people from all walks of life, his legacy will endure, forever changing the way we think about art, mental health, and the human experience. As we near the end of our investigation into Kurt Cobain's death, one question remains: what really happened on that fateful April morning in 1994? Theories have abounded, from a tragic accident to a deliberate act of violence. But what if the truth lies somewhere in between? Our analysis of the evidence suggests that the official story might not be the whole truth. The investigation surrounding Cobain's death was marred by inconsistencies and contradictions, raising more questions than answers. The Seattle Police Department's handling of the case has been criticized for its lack of thoroughness, and some experts have even questioned the authenticity of the suicide note. But what does this mean for us today? Does it matter that the truth behind Cobain's death might be more complex than we initially thought? The answer lies in the impact it has on our understanding of mental health and the music industry. By exploring the gray areas surrounding Cobain's death, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the struggles he faced and the sacrifices he made for his art. As we piece together the puzzle of Cobain's life and death, it's clear that his legacy extends far beyond his music. He became an icon, a symbol of rebellion and nonconformity. But his struggles with depression and addiction also serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of the human spirit. By acknowledging the complexity of his story, we can begin to break down the stigma surrounding mental health and encourage open and honest conversations about the issues that matter most. So what's the takeaway from our investigation? In the end, it's not about the truth behind Cobain's death, but about the lessons we can learn from his life and legacy. His story serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of mental health and the need for support. By sharing our findings and sparking a conversation, we hope to empower viewers to take action and make a difference in their own lives and communities. As we close this chapter on our investigation, we want to hear from you. What do you think about the truth behind Kurt Cobain's death? Share your thoughts and join the conversation on social media using the hashtag. Together, let's keep the conversation going and honor the legacy of a true music icon.